And we're live. Hello and welcome to my first appearance on YouTube and Twitter for about 6 weeks now. And it's me, Maddie Allen here, here to get you hyped about the 4th annual Pulse Chain Conference, which will be kicking off tomorrow night. And here in the United States, it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 6 p.m. Central Time starting off, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's 5 p.m. in the mountains and 4 p.m. on the Pacific Coast for you Californians out there. We have 55 speakers. We have giveaways and much, much more. And actually, if you keep watching this stream, which is going to run for 10 or 20 minutes, and you hit the like button and you subscribe and do all those cool things, I think I'm going to do a $200 giveaway of Pateus coins tonight, one of our sponsors of the 4th annual Pulse Chain Conference. So yeah, let's get right to it. And if you guys can let me know in the chat, can you hear me okay? Yeah, like we're back at it. Here we are. Crypto is taking off, and I know I missed you guys and some of you guys missed me. So yeah, just really honored to be able to continue this tradition of putting on the #1 DeFi conference in the world. We've had probably 280 different speakers over the years, and this year it's going to be better than ever. So yeah, here we go. All right, so if you go to pulsechainconference.com, that it will, if it's saved in your browser weird, then it might take you to the 2024 schedule, but then you can click on my Medium link at the top and it'll take you to the pinned article for Pulse Chain Conference 2025. And I will go ahead and share my screen here. I swear I remember how to live stream, but I decided tonight I would go ahead and go live to dust off all the equipment, make sure everything's working okay, so we don't have any hiccups tomorrow. And of course, we'll be having one of our amazing Pulse Chain individuals helping me put on the conference this year, Rachel Laub, also known as Crypto Bestie. She will be running the green screen room and doing a talk. And so shout out to her. Let's see. I am going to, and this should be live on the Pulse Chain Conference Twitter, which has certainly popped off with the schedule getting 37,000 views in the past couple days. And so I think it's a combination of having the right speakers and having the #1 DeFi community on X and Twitter and in the world to where even a small account with 3,000 followers, Pulse Chain Conference, can really have a huge reach organically because a lot of people are sharing the tweet and that sort of thing. So I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to share the window. Let's see. There we go. So this is the Medium article, and this will take you to the link to watch on YouTube, the link to watch on Twitter, to join the Telegram for t.me/PulseChainConference, to follow on Twitter, x.com/PulseChainConf. And this is actually my 9th conference that I've put on for Hex and Pulse Chain. I organized the first Hex conference in 2021, January, and then we did another one in 22, 23, 24, and 25. And then this will be the 4th Pulse Chain conference, which some of you might be asking, well, wait a second, how's that possible? Because Pulse Chain is only like 2.5 years old. And the reason is because we started doing Pulse Chain conferences before Pulse Chain launched. And so we did one in 2022, 2023, 2024, and now this is the 4th annual Pulse Chain Conference coming up tomorrow, August 15th through 17th. And this schedule is a little bit out of date because it's always evolving at the last minute. But I will run you through any of the changes that we've made so you can be extremely up to date. And remember, if you're just tuning in now, if you stick around till the end of the stream, I'll be giving away $200 worth of Proteus coins on Pulse Chain. So here on pulsechainconference.com, you can find the time zone converter that will take you directly to the start time for the first day based on your location. You can type in your location here, or you can go off the ones I pre-selected for London, Switzerland, Japan, Australia, all kinds of places. So that's pretty cool. This is all volunteer speakers and organically organized. All right. So my internet lagged out. So that's one of the things I'm testing tonight to make sure we have a flawless stream tomorrow. So here we go. The donors have been mentioned here. The sponsors are texitcoin.org. So we'll have a talk from them. Spoiler alert. We talked about it on the Hex conference in January. You'd be up like over 10x. So we'll let people know, like give people an update on that project. And then also everybody loves Proteus, the number one DEX aggregator on Pulse Chain. And then a project you may not have heard of yet that is launching this weekend, pulseland.io. And so you can follow our sponsors that help make the conference possible by visiting their websites on the screen here, or going on X, x.com/pulseland, x.com/Piteus.io, Piteas.io, and Texit Coins, TEXIT Coins with an S on Twitter. And so we got the landing pages for day 1 and day 2 and day 3. Okay, well, YouTube isn't pulling it through there for us, but if you click on any of these links, it will take you to the entire list of the playlist for these, or it should take you there. Okay, well, it's easy to find on my YouTube page nevertheless. And I guess some of these other links are going to take you to the playlist that has all 3 days worth of shows. Watch here. Let's see if this one works. Oh, this takes you to the 3rd annual. Okay. Well, I've got a little bit of work to do on the Medium to update that. But again, that's why we're going over this. So just a little bit of history about the past Pulse Chain conferences. Our first Pulse Chain conference ever was called pulseconference.online, and it was 3 days long and had a really cool schedule and graphic here. And we had 33 speakers over 3 nights on July 14th to 16th, 2022. Cool. Then we had our second annual conference, which we called plsconference.live, which was 42 hours long, had 69 speakers, and was during August 4th to 5th, 2023, that included an in-person event in Austin, Texas. Cool. Yeah. And that was that was one where I think we mostly scheduled it on the fly. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different one. I've done more than one 40 plus hour conferences like continuously. I think I've done like 2 of those, but so, and then the third annual, you can see like the evolution here of like how Pulse Chain, you know, once it launched and once it had been around for a year, I mean, you can just see the number of speakers doubled up to 100. Well, it tripled from the first time we did it, all the way up to 101 speakers on May 11th to 14th. We had to break it into 4 days. Because I haven't been streaming weekly for the past 6 weeks, and because I wanted to be respectful of everybody's time during the bull market, we did limit this conference to 3 days, like the original throwback. But we certainly we're not going to have 101 speakers, but the speakers that we do have, as you'll see when I go over the list, is going to be out of this world. So shout out to everybody who's spoken at one of the previous Pulse Chain conferences, and then kind of going in reverse order from this year. Here's the 5th annual Hex Conference .com that was January 6th through 9th, 2025. The Hex conferences have always been January 6th through 9th. And so we did one in 2025. This year had huge participation, amazing sponsorships and speakers. And that was before I learned how to, or then the year before that, you know, I hadn't figured out how to dark screen out the schedule. So your eyes are probably bleeding if you're watching in a dark room. But the Hex Conference 2024 had 100 speakers and was the first crypto conference to use AI video translation. That's really cool. And that's also where we set the world record for the most YouTubers live on a single screen, 230. Now, we didn't submit that to the Guinness Book of World Records because they're a centralized agency and we're all about DeFi and not begging middlemen who charge you like thousands of dollars every time you show the logo of like your award, quote unquote. But yeah, you can ask any AI like who has the world record holding for that, and it'll probably say the Hex community. So then, still going backwards in time, in 2023, we had a Hex conference where that was the last time that Richard Hart streamed live, was at the Hex conference on January 9th, 2023. And I guess the Hex conferences have been really special because it was the 4th Hex conference where you had the largest green candle in the history of Pulse Chain, where like Inc and PulseX and Pulse all went up like 5 to 20x starting on the last day of the conference and going from January 9th until I would say March 9th, when Bitcoin peaked for its peak in 2024 in the middle of 2024. So that's kind of cool that you know, these conferences aren't always red candles, but certainly if you were buying during the first 3 days of the Hex Conference 2024, those were some of the lowest prices that you saw on Hex and Pulse Chain in this crypto season. So that's kind of fun lore. And then I already talked about the last time that Richard Hart streamed live was for January 9th, 2023. And then the 2nd annual Hex conference was in 2022. Very colorful schedule there. And then the very first Hex conference, the very first online conference I ever put on, was in 2021. And we had, I think, about 33 speakers and like lots of names that like are still around today and became like main characters in the space. Certainly Johnny Chaos, Nerd Girl, Crypto Coffee, Funding Jim, Hodl Dog. You had Hexologist, RG3, Dollar Cost Crypto, Crypto Coffee. You had Kareem and Crypto Girl and Steph and Kinetics and You had Dev Kyle, and you had a lot of other really great speakers. You had David Feeder, you had Firebun, you had Big Kurkowski, Silver the Antidote, you had Richard Hart, you had myself, Matty Allen. So that was all like a really fun. And so that kind of gives you the rundown of like all these different conferences that I've done. And so this conference that's starting tomorrow is like playing into that history and that lore of like the Hex and Pulse Chain conferences. So if we go to x.com/Pulse Chain Conf, because Pulse Chain Conference is too long of a username for Twitter, we can see the schedule that we have here. And luckily, or hopefully, it is in high definition enough for you to zoom in and see. So in the first on the first day tomorrow, kicking off the conference will be Crypto 7, and he'll be giving away 2 of his famous watches. So that's really exciting. And then we'll have the greatest hex quant of them all, Hex Fire, doing the last 20 minutes solo in that first hour block. Then we will be graced with the with a block of a 1 hour social from the Discourse Syndicate Ladies Discourse. And I can tell you the updated list of women who will be speaking during that are Crypto Class, Hod Pearl, Miss Rochelle, Crypto Stylist, Vibra Lindsay, Crypto Bella 0x, Real Claudia King, and Crypto Empress X are the 8 women that'll be speaking in the second hour there. And then we'll have a 20-minute donor talk from Pulse Land with Mike Wills Jr. Then we'll have the second streamer. Oh, I'm sorry. The Ladies Discourse will be 40 minutes, and then we'll have a 20-minute donor talk from Pulse Land, and then we'll have at the top of the hour for the third hour, Kryptonite Show, who also goes by Superman, who is probably done the most daily Hex live streams in the history of Hex. An Australian gentleman who many people are familiar with and appreciate. And then we're going to have a talk from Validator X and LPX talking about the parallel economy of Pulse Chain. And then we'll have Axis Alive in that last 20-minute spot of the third hour. And then in the fourth hour, this is the biggest speaker I think we'll have in the history of Hex and Pulse Chain conferences other than Richard Hart. We have Bitcoin billionaire Brock Pierce, who founded things like USDT, the largest stablecoin in the world, and who has tons of amazing crypto stories that he's going to share with me in an interview. And I am super grateful that his people have confirmed that he will be speaking at our Pulse Chain conference. And I could get into the backstory of how I got him invited and how he said yes, but maybe I'll save that for a future stream. Then I will be representing Pateus and doing a 20-minute talk to educate people about the latest facts and geeking out about what makes Pateus one of the most powerful tools that you'll have on Pulse Chain. And then, unfortunately, our friend I'm Shill Gates is under the weather, and so we'll have Randy Hilarski filling in for him. And then in the last 20 minutes of the conference, Rachel will be going over how to buy Pulse. And so for all of these talks, what I've done in previous years is I've split out the video to release in the 3 days after the conference. There'll be standalone talks. So you'll get the live stream on my channel, Matty Allen, and on Pulse Chain Conf on Twitter. And then on Pulse Chain Conf on Twitter will have a post of each individual talk. So that'll close out the first day. And that first day is like, a wild schedule, but it continues from there on Saturday with the same start time. We're going to do a like testimonial segment of 6 to 7 minutes for each of these 9 speakers: Crypto Bella X, Eric Zachman, Crypto Story 77, The Chain Temple, Alex Solian, Zach Crypto, Okeechobee, and Hex Ninja, as well as Alpha Baller. Give me just a moment. Okay, so so Alpha Baller will be the TBA that's filling in there for day 2 for that first hour. So we're getting 9 speakers packed into 1 hour. Each speaker will be solo or with me on screen if they so choose. Then in hour 2, we're going to have Corey Geary if a hurricane has not hit Puerto Rico, which is expected. So he's going to make it if he can. And if he can't, then we'll try to include him elsewhere. Typo here on the schedule, it's not Fast Abdul, but your favorite Fast Abdul. And then Frank couldn't make it. And so we're filling in Saint Wolf there on that 4-person panel, along with Whitney Magic. And then we'll have a 20-minute donor talk by Bobby Gray of Texacoin, one of my favorite people in crypto. And then we'll have a 20-minute talk by Nerd Girl 007. We have a 10-minute spot that's still TBA. And then Freddie Quotes will be doing a 10-minute talk before we hand it over to the the famous Aubrey de Grey, who's one of the top 5 longevity scientists in the world and has been a longtime huge supporter of Pulse Chain and Hex. And so we're going to hear from him for an hour about longevity research and the $27.5 million that the Pulse Chain sacrifice community donated to him, that some of it made it to him and some of it got complicated, but he will be updating people on that. And then we are finishing off with a power panel here with Zenith Crypto, CC Christian from Liquid Loans, Solid Hex, the Solid X whale, and Dollar Cost Crypto said he would talk. I'm not sure if he's confirmed yet, so we'll have an alternate for him if he's unable to make it. He's busy with his course and all kinds of other stuff, and wish him well. So now we're on to day 3. Sunday, we'll have not, in quotes, legal talk. We'll be talking with Nuclear Herbs, Maddie Allen, and Zenith Crypto for 50 minutes. And then plusx.app is they have a legal update for Pulse Chain that they'll be presenting in the last 10 minutes of that first hour. Then we're hoping to have a 20-minute talk between Sticker Guy Win and Tom Peter Gillespie, a 10-minute talk from DOS Bomb, a 10-minute talk from Brother KDG of Internet Money, then a 20-minute talk from Axis Alive, a 20-minute talk from Buck Fiat of the Fiat ecosystem, and Hexus Danny Dillon, and then perhaps a 20-minute talk from them again, and then a 10-minute talk. I should have separated those two, but a 10-minute talk from Jexa and a 10-minute talk from Pulse Land, who will have launched since their talk on day 1. And then We have a power panel between Big Kurkowski, Fast Abdul, Jexa, and Hodprol. And then the final power social will include Maddie Allen, Rachel, Fast Abdul, Whitney Magic, Zenith Crypto, Access Alive, Timothy Benjamin, and Hex Monkey 369, and last spot is TBA. So how cool is that? We have an amazing schedule. And again, the 4th annual Pulse Chain Conference is brought to you by texitcoin.org, app.pateus.io, and pulseland.io. Now is our time to do a giveaway for the $200 worth of Pateus coins. And it looks like we have something like 100, 300, or 30 people watching, depending on who you ask. And let's see, do I remember how to do a giveaway on here? Let's see. StreamYard giveaway tool. Where you at? StreamYard.com/giveaway. Wow. Pulse Chain Conference starts tomorrow. What is the keyword that you're going to have to put in? Let's see. Let's say the keyword is DeFi. DEFI, no caps. Exclude winners when doing multiple draws. Okay, whatever. We're only doing one draw. Okay, that is active. So if you put in the chat a DeFi on YouTube, at least, Maddie, it's youtube.com/Maddie Allen. If you put DeFi, DEFI, into the chat, you will be entered to win. And I'm only going to do this for about a minute or two. So your odds are looking pretty good if you're watching this live. So go ahead and throw in the word DeFi, and I will wait until I get at least maybe 5 or 10 entries. And then I will pick a winner who will have to reach out to me on Twitter and hopefully not be a scammer. Because I'm going to need your Pulse Chain address so I can send you the tokens, or whoever sends you the tokens, right? Okay, we are at 10, so make sure to type DeFi if you haven't yet. I'm going to share my screen here so you can see it's fair. Wild SJ has appeared. I hope to get her on one of the open spots, but I know she's really busy, and we just love all the efforts that she's making to get Pulse Chain out there to the world. Okay, we have 12 entries, and I'm going to hit draw. So scrolling through all the names that entered, who said the word DeFi, and it's coming up with a winner. Anita, you have won. So go ahead and message me. Do they still let me? How do I type? Gosh, so much has changed in StreamYard in the past. Oh, there it is. I see. Okay. So if you go to https://x.com/Maddie Allen and send me your Pulse Chain wallet address, I will send you something close to $200 worth of Pateus coins, PTS. I guess it was $2,000 when they sent me for 10 winners. And so I'm just going to split it 10 ways. And if it's a little bit more or a little bit less, you will be prorated accordingly. But looks like everything's working here for my stream. And we are all set to go for the 4th annual Pulse Chain Conference starting tomorrow night. So go ahead and rewatch this if you're just joining now, and share this out so that everybody knows that they can check out the #1 DeFi conference and be a part of this epic bull run in Pulse Chain. I think Hex peaked after Bitcoin peaked last cycle and did a huge run. And so even if the writing is on the wall, or even if there's a huge bull run left for crypto, I think Pulse Chain is going to go the highest and last. And so now is a good time to learn and to hear from all the different speakers so you can choose who you want to listen to over the next year. So with that being said, we're 30 minutes in, and thank you also to everybody who's been congratulating me on my engagement. I'm really happy, and it means a lot that there are so many positive people out there who are happy for me too. So with that being said, until next time, stake wisely, my friends, and peace out.